outside, they get to stay out all night. I lost all my markers, but I'm so stubborn that, you know, I probably will keep trying until I get it right.
Fields were mine. We played hide and seek for hours, raised our shadows among the pines. So offshore, playful and free, without a care in the world. I was one rich little girl, daydreamer, kidnapped me.
Hi friends, welcome back to the homestead. If you're new here, my name is Lynn. Welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. I'm outside and as usual, lots of traffic. I have my microphone on, so hopefully that will help a little bit with the sound. But today we are outside because we're actually like our second day in a row, I think it is, of warm temperatures. It would be sunny, but I think unfortunately those awful fires in Manitoba are giving us an overcast day. Boy, it seems like the last 3 seasons we've had bad air quality from fires. I just want to say our prayers are with everybody who is affected in Manitoba, and pray for rain for them out there. They need all the rain we've been getting to hopefully get some control over those fires. It's devastating. But we're outside because for the first time since I started hardening off my plants a month ago, they get to stay out all night. So right now I still have them on my tables, but I thought I'd just bring you along on a little garden tour. So many trucks today. I thought I'd bring you along on a garden tour for the before everything starts going in the ground, and to show you that there is some life in the garden. First up, I have some of my tomatoes that I up-potted like 3 weeks ago. I think it's been it was our long weekend, so a couple weeks at least. And I had to up-pot them all because they were not doing well. So we are gonna get them into the garden build, because this is where they will be growing, and I can show you a few things that are happening in here. That's as far as the wagon's gonna go, so I'm just gonna bring them over and put them in the garden bed where they'll be going. This is just to save me some time later this week, and I can just plop them right into the garden bed. So I started 2 kinds of tomatoes this year. Opaca, and I'm trying to remember the name of the other one. I think it was called Brandywine, all from M.I. Gardner, and I've lost all my markers, so I don't know which ones are what, so I'm probably going to have a mix of them growing in the different beds. The Opaca are more of a paste tomato. The Brandywine are more of a eating tomato. He said they were his favorites, so that's why I ordered them, and I liked the description of the sweetness and the not very juicy description. So this will be one of our tomato beds, and then this one will be the other. I think I need 2. We will see. I can put those a little closer together. Obviously the pots are taking up a lot of space, so I'm pretty sure I'll be able to get both of them out of there. But I have to show you what's been happening. So 2 weeks ago, I did come out and plant a few seeds because I was late in doing that, and they're popping up already. Believe it or not, this lettuce, I hope you can see it. It's very, very tiny. But this lettuce I planted less than a week ago, and it's already sprouting. And over here, I thought I saw, oh yeah, very, very teeny tiny one of my strawberry spinach. I hope that means more are gonna start. I see more. They're popping up. They're just very tiny. So we have that started. And the chamomile I overwintered last year is growing crazy. Like, I am so excited. I'll have so much chamomile. Battery died, but that's okay. I just went and grabbed all my basil. I'm gonna say 95% of what I'm growing this year, sorry, I hit the camera. 95% of what I'm growing this year, I did start from seed, with a few exceptions. We went to our local nursery yesterday, and I picked up some fun things I want to share with you, which we'll get to that in a minute. But I realized as I was up-potting my herbs, 2 months ago, I did not plant, for some reason, a lot of basil. And I don't know why, because I have plenty of basil seeds. And some of the basil I planted was cinnamon basil, which I love, but it's not something I want to use in like pizza or spaghetti sauce. So I did pick up a couple of basil plants from our local nursery. I mean, look at this. Gorgeous. And obviously these are all going to be single plants. So I think for $8, that was a steal. I don't even know how many. There's at least 10 in here. And I'm going to say at least 20 basil plants in here. So like 30 basil plants. I think that's pretty good. So we're going to be growing them. Trying to think. I think I'm going to grow them in the smaller beds this year. Last year I did grow them in that big bed, and honestly I didn't need to. So those are the ones I bought, but the rest, these are the ones I started. But I need to grow a lot of basil. It's one of the things I use a lot of. We use it almost every Friday in our homemade pizza sauce. So it's definitely something I needed to grow a lot of, and I'm hoping to freeze dry a lot. I wanted to thank you all for your compliments on my new glasses. There's a little bit of story with them. These are actually wrong. They're the right frames, but the wrong prescriptions are in each frame. So I had to get readers for the first time in my life, and I hate it. Switching off glasses back and forth, it's a pain, but that's where I'm at. I am looking at getting laser eye surgery because I'm having some issues with my eyes. Hopefully, maybe at the end of summer, beginning of fall, we're going to see what the waiting list is like. But we have much better insurance now, so they're going to cover a majority of it, so I can finally get it done. But in the meantime, these were supposed to be my readers and not transitions where they darken up on them, which I love that. I love being able to come out with my glasses and not have to clip on sunglasses. But I also, these are supposed to be the readers, and the other ones, my favorites that I call fancy, because they've got, you know, little detail on the side, they were supposed to be my everyday long distance transition glasses. So I've got to call in. I went by the day after I picked them up to let them know, because I didn't say anything at the store because we literally were running late because we had another appointment at 2 o'clock, which was like a 45-minute drive from where we were. So I needed to get out of there, and I wanted to come home because I had written down what I had picked and I left it at home. So I wanted to make sure before I said, hey, these are wrong, that I wasn't wrong, and I wasn't wrong. I didn't think I was. These look exactly like the cheaters, the readers I bought at Walmart a year ago, and that's why I liked them for my reader. So I'm giving them a couple more days to get back to me. I'm hoping they fix it. It's like I told them at the office. I don't necessarily think you all did it. It could have happened at the lab. It was an accident. I just need them fixed. And of course, they can't just switch the lenses out because each pair is just a little bit different shape and a little bit bigger than the other. So yeah, but thank you for the compliments. I appreciate it. So I think these two raised beds are going to be perfect for the basil this year. I know I don't grow it in my herb garden. I mean, I will have some over there, but I grow so much of it, they need their own spot, and I just love the smell of it. I do have something that's been attacking them when I've been hardening them off, and I did spray them yesterday with some organic soap, hoping that will take care of it. It doesn't seem worse today, so hopefully that worked. But so we got the basil. I also want to show you where I plan on growing my loofah this year, and this, I say this is the last year I'm trying, but I'm so stubborn that, you know, I probably will keep trying until I get it right. But we're going to grow the loofah inside the garden build this year. The last couple of years I've tried growing it on the outside, and we had this, which was much bigger, up there, and they just did terrible. So this year we brought them in here. I've shortened it, and I'm going to plant them along here. I have 4 plants I started. They're doing good, because that's all I had left for seeds. Well, they're looking sad. I'll show you when we bring them over. They definitely need to go in the ground this week, and I hope they're going to be okay. So I'll be putting them there, and then obviously there's going to be a lot more going in here. But yeah, and the comfrey is budding and blossoming like crazy. It has loved the cooler temperature and the rain. Like, it's just, they're just so full of flowers, which is great because the bees loved these comfrey plants last year. More tomatoes. So I have to double check my notes, but I believe I seeded, I think it was 60 tomato seeds. I believe I had 54 or 56 germinate, so excellent. And I end up having about 52 after I up-potted all those. And then I lost a few when I had to up-pot a couple weeks ago. So I believe I'm at 48 or 50. So not too shabby. So these are my loofah. Oh, they are very, very sad looking. They're not even that green. Definitely going to give them some fertilizer. I'm actually going to take the stakes right out, and if they start growing before I get them planted this week, even better. But yeah, they needed to be in the ground a while ago. So let's hope this is the year I actually get. If I only get one loofah out of these, I will be ecstatic. My pepper plants, on the other hand, are looking amazing. So I planted all colored bell peppers, orange, yellow, and red long peppers. And I've already started taking off the tops that had little teeny tiny peppers, because we don't want them to do that. I need them to establish their roots first before they start giving me peppers, even though part of it, like that one right there, is going to come off too. It kind of hurts a little bit to do this, but it's better for the plant in the long run, because I need you to establish yourselves first. So they look amazing. I planted about the same amount of seeds for peppers, and I haven't counted these yet, but I know for the most part, I think most of them germinated. I had to re-germinate a couple of times, especially the long ones, because I couldn't find my heat mats, and I ended up having to put them in front of our fireplace with their own heat lamp, and that seemed to germinate a few more. So pretty happy with how they turned out though. This is a tomato I did not start. This was one of the fun ones I picked up yesterday. Black Crim. I think Jessica from Three Rivers grows these. I'm pretty sure it was her, but that is a picture of them. Hopefully that's focusing, because I can see nothing out here. It's just bright enough that I can't see, but I just thought they would be fun, and I got 2 of them to try. So, and I do have one lone tomato plant that's actually in the ground. Hopefully you can see that, because like I said, I can't see anything. Let me see. Oh yeah, right there in the round circular raised bed. That was from my friend Tiana. That was a black cherry tomato, I think she said. Not cherry tomato, black cherry tomato. I'll have to double check. It was black something, I think, or chocolate something. Anyway, that one I finally said, that's it. She'd already hardened them all off for a long time. I put that in the ground a couple of days ago, and it seems to be doing okay. So that's all the tomatoes brought over. That's all the basil. I still have more peppers to bring over. I'll get to that. I have a lot of herbs I still need to put over in the herb garden, but I have to figure out where everything's going. I've got a little drawing, very crude drawing that I've did up just to give me a rough idea where some things are going to go, but I have to really think about this herb garden. I'm going to say the stacker pots, every strawberry I planted died. I might try some more strawberries, and I have a spot for them that I think I'm going to put them right into the ground, and I'll show you that in a minute. They did not do well. Some of the things aren't doing great in the stacker pot, so I'm going to be planting a few more things in actual raised beds, and by that, they're just really long planters. But now we're in the new addition that's right off our original garden build, and I want to show you we've got some things growing here also that I'm really excited about. Quite 2 weeks ago, I planted snow peas in this new raised bed that we got, and I hope you can see they are popping up right there and there and there, and they're everywhere. They're popping up like crazy, and we cut that cattle fencing panel, whatever you call it. We cut that in half so the snow peas will have something to crawl up on. So pretty excited about that. Over here, this is just one spot where I have yellow beans. I planted these around the same day. And they are just, in the last day or two, popping like crazy. So, pretty excited. And I did transfer my bee balm from the old herb garden and just put it in here for now. 100% sure what we're putting in these pots that we have here. They are filled with soil. Again, that will be coming. I'm thinking it might be some of the herbs I have. I'm not sure. I also started nasturtiums and zinnias in a couple places too. This, I'm going to grow some potatoes, and I also have root bags coming. I forgot to order them, and I just remembered, so they're supposed to be here actually today. I decided to grow a few potatoes, not so much for storage, but for fresh eating through the next coming months. And I will still be picking up my big bag that we get from our local farmer, because 50 pounds of potatoes for $25 isn't a crazy deal. So yeah, so we're going to be doing some potatoes in there. This is the overview of that new garden build. Very happy with it. As you can see, it's coming off the old one. And in here where I used to try to do loofah, I've got this already, sunflowers. Going to plant a lot of sunflowers in here. Now I want to share with you some of the fun things that we will be growing this summer, but not necessarily for food for our bodies, but I call it plants for my soul, because these make me happy. The first is this absolutely stunning fuchsia plant I picked up yesterday. It's called Bubblegum, which is very fitting. If you see, I mean, look at the color on that. Is that not stunning? And I love fuchsias. It all started when Dave and I were dating as teenagers, and he bought me one. And I've had one every single year since, sometimes many. And they've been dying on me. Well, I found out why. I am giving them way too much sun. These actually like shade. As a matter of fact, where I picked this up yesterday, they had it growing in their little building where you pay for all the plants. No sun there at all. So I talked to her and she said, yes, definitely likes a lot of shade. So hopefully we can keep this one going. And I'm hoping to save a few slips and start a bunch of my own next year because fuchsias are pricey. Though this one I didn't think was too bad for the size. It was 30. They were 2 for $60, but they only had the one. And honestly, that's pretty good. I mean, just one small fuchsia was $7.50 at most places. And honestly, at Walmart, this thing was like $45, $50. So I thought 30, and I'd rather give my money to a local family, you know, than a big business like Walmart. So pretty happy with my beautiful bubblegum pink fuchsia plant. Another project I've been working on is beautifying the front porch. Not so beautifying right now because this is where all the plant hardening off has been happening. But I have 2 big pots here as you walk into our house, and I've always wanted something nice for them. But we get so much shade, so I did a little research and found impatiens do not like the sun. I love impatiens. They last all summer. So I got, not only did I get impatiens, I got grandma's impatiens. That's what they call them at the nursery. And I think for this plant is beautiful, but I think the leaves are just as gorgeous as the flowers. I mean, are they not beautiful? The leaves are so gorgeous. So they're just sitting in there right now, just so I could get an idea, but I think they're gonna look stunning in these pots going into the house. The other one is right over here, just beautiful. So happy with them. And I have to show you what I came up with. These beautiful ferns. I have 3 of these hanging. Aren't they stunning? They're not real. Little backstory. When we were looking at this house to buy, 11 years ago this month actually, the front porch was the first thing I fell in love with, and I always wanted a home with a big old front porch. And a sunroom, but you know, the front porch definitely. And I know it's because my grandparents' front porch, I can remember distinctly their front porch, which actually was closed in, so it was kind of a sunroom, but they called it the porch. And it just, you know, I'm sure that's why it spoke to me. And I told David, I said, oh, my dream is to have a whole whack of ferns just growing across there in the summer. Ferns are so expensive, friends. This is something I need to start on my own too. To do what I wanted, we were looking at easily, are you ready for this? $500 to $600 to do what I really wanted. No way, no way. I'd have to bring them in every year because you cannot spend that kind of money and let them die. I'm not spending that kind of money either. There's so much more things we could do with $500 than buy ferns. And I just knew that wasn't feasible. So I got these off of Amazon in the Dollar Tree. Got some plant pots that I had, stuck them all down in, and honestly, from a distance, I don't think you would ever know these were fake. And I have 3 all together, and it cost me about $40 all together to do that. Much more friendly. They last forever. I will put them in my shed at the end of the season. I won't have to worry about bringing them in and trying to find room for all these plants to hang and survive. So yeah, just I thought it works. It looks great. They're not as fake looking as they used to be, but from a distance, you can't tell the difference. I'm standing in front of this lilac tree that we planted a year after we moved in. So this is 10 years old, and we had to cut it back this year. Like, this thing is, see if you can see all the way up there. It goes all the way up to our house now. If I put my camera back here, you might get a better view of how big it is. Like, it's quite large. And I planted this in honor of my grandmother Tracy, my mother's mother, who adored lilacs. She had a white one that she had in this big plant pot that was made out of a rubber tire, and she would just put it under her trailer every year at the end of the year and haul it out. I don't think she had to do that, but so I planted that in honor of her. We lost her over 15 years ago now. So I knew with my grandmother Lyon's passing, I wanted to plant something in honor of her. And I also wanted to plant something in honor of my dad, who we lost about 3 weeks after my grandmother, very suddenly and unexpectedly. And I was really really racking my brain. I knew what my grandmother I was going to plant immediately, but for my dad I was trying to figure out what we were going to do. So I want to show you the spot we have made ready to plant this weekend. I'm hoping this is something all of us can do. My mother's like, well, you can never move. These can be dug up and replanted where we're going. So, but honestly, I don't think we're moving. It's going to be at least 2 years probably before we are able to move, depending on quite a few things. But anyway, I want to show you what we got. We're going to be closer to the road now. If for some reason it's too noisy, I will talk over this. So if my mouth doesn't match up with the words I'm saying, that is why I've had to dub it over with me talking after I'm editing. Hopefully it won't be too bad. So we're at near the end of our yard, and this is where we're going to be planting our memorial for my father. My grandfather Lyons also, who passed away, I raised sunflowers every single year for him because he always grew the biggest, largest sunflowers you ever saw. And I'm going to be planting some sunflowers around the edge of this too, in honor of him. And I can't wait to show you what we have planned. So Dave and I worked on this all last weekend in the cold and the yucky weather, but that was okay because we got it done. This is an old swing. The swing broke a long time ago. Honestly, the only reason we hung on to the frame is because we had no way of really getting rid of it, and I'm so glad we didn't, because my plan is to have ivy and, oh, I hope I can find the one that has these gorgeous little flowers. These are going to be growing, I hope, hanging from 2 pots. I'm hoping they'll eventually fill this all out with ivy. These I will have to bring in at the end of the year every year, unfortunately, but that's okay, to make sure that they keep coming back. One of my favorites, which will come back every year, columbines, and I bought some blue, and I bought some of these ones that are mixed colors. These will be going in pots on their back deck. I have some columbine that I planted that whatever was digging into my plant pots, I don't know if it was cats or what, but it sure did smell like cat feces in those pots last year, and I cleaned them all out and replanted them. Some of them did survive and came back, so now I have more to add to that. So back to this. So yes, so we're going to have, my plan is to have ivy hanging, and I had to buy the plant pots. You know, the plant pots that you buy your hanging pots in at the stores? They have the plastic hook. Could not find them anywhere. So of course I had to order them off of Amazon, and I had to order the least amount I could get was 8. I really only need 4, but that's okay. I guess I have 4, and I couldn't believe I couldn't find them. So anyway, I have those coming. So you're saying, Lynn, what are the plants you're planting for your family? My grandmother Lyons adored yellow roses, and though I have 1 yellow rose already planted, this one is for Grammy. And I wish you could smell this. It smells amazing. And none of these flowers were blooming when we bought this a week ago. They were full of buds, and it's actually called Oh So Easy Lemon Zest Landscape Rose. And beautiful. And I know Grammy Lyons would have loved this. Backstory, if you're new here, I'm originally from Maine. I've lived in Canada since I was 18 when I got married, but I am originally from Maine, and my father was a 30-year veteran of the Army National Guard, full-time service, and he was probably one of the most patriotic people you will ever meet. He loved the United States. He was proud to have served. He, was just very patriotic. So I knew what I wanted was something that represented my father, and I thought his patriotism was one of the great ways to represent him. So I wanted to find red, white, and blue flowers, and I found them. For the red, we have Maroon Swoon. I think it's a Weigela. I'm not 100% sure. The other 2 are hydrangeas. The white, this one is a white hydrangea, and this one is a blue hydrangea, as long as your acidity in your soil is high. So I will be adding peat moss to our soil and hope that it brings up the acidity, so these will bloom. It's called Let's Dance. Another thing my father loved was music and dancing. In high school, he was voted best male dancer in his yearbook. He's the one who taught us to dance. He's the one who taught us the love of music. So it's fitting that this is called Let's Dance. So that is our blue, and our white is a white. It's called Moon Rock Hardy Hydrangea, and That is not the greatest picture, but that's what that will look like. So those will be my project this weekend to get planted in our little spot here. And I plan to make a sign of some sort and to hang off the middle of the swing frame here, saying what it is. And like I said, there'll be sunflowers growing all along the edge here. We do have weed cloth down. We're not filling this up with soil. There's really good, not bad soil underneath. I'm just gonna be burning holes in the weed cloth and planting them that way. So a little fun and meaningful project that we have planned for this year. My last fun item I got, that's not food, but I am excited. As I'm walking, you can see, I hope you're seeing our apple trees and cherry trees. They look better than they ever have. Spraying it with that stinky, organic sulfur mixture really seemed to help the apple trees this year. Now I just need to get bumblebees around to pollinate so they will start blossoming. I have plans for, I have lots of wildflower seeds. I am just gonna scatter everywhere, including underneath the apple trees, and hope that really helps. Motorcycles coming. Over here, I have two tulips that I did not plant. I'm sure thanks to the squirrels or the chipmunks, they planted those for me. I left them there because they're free flowers, they're beautiful. I have peonies growing here. Another fun story. When we moved in, there were peonies everywhere on this property, and it's one of my favorite flowers. I love them. They remind me of roses, which is probably why I love them so much. I hope to freeze dry some this year, so stay tuned for that. Anyway, we had tons of them, and granted, a lot of them weren't where we could see them, and I did try transplanting a lot of them. A couple of them worked, some of them didn't. But a Mr. Guitar, my husband, weed whacked a lot of them, and it killed them. So I've been slowly picking them up, trying to grow them. So I have one pink one here, and I got these, I bought 3 2 years ago at Walmart for $1 because they looked like they were dead. And I thought, for 75 cents, I'll take my chances. 2 made it, 1 did not. And honestly, I only thought 1 made it, which I was happy about, because like I said, it was only out 75 cents. But the other one is coming up. So yes, it's decided to come up this year. So I'm pretty happy. I don't know if we'll get flowers, we'll see. But the other one, it is full of blossoms right now, full. So I believe they were, all 3 were pink. I'm not 100% sure because I can't remember. I don't even know if they were marked 100%, but I picked up, again, Walmart wanted like $45 for their peonies, and this local place only wanted 20. So I picked up a white one that already has a blossom. Unfortunately, I think she's a little too far gone to freeze dry, but the scent is amazing. So I got to get her planted because she needs to get quite deep in the ground. So we're going to plant her here with the other ones, and then I'll have my 3 peonies growing out front here. And I think that will be beautiful for our front yard. And I have to show you, David and I, and Aiden actually, we planted these 2 years ago. And these are the best they have looked. I'm trying, I think I left the tag on them, on one of them, so I could remember. They're called Fire something. We bought them at the same nursery we bought everything else that I've been showing you the last few minutes. What is this called? I cannot remember. Yew. I think this is a yew tree. It is so soft. This is the best this has looked. Very happy. We're doing this to hopefully help with privacy eventually. And we got lots of weeds growing. So we have 3 of these. Fire. I really thought, let me see, I will look it up and I'll put it here what the name of them are. But they're doing great. We planted 4 cedars from Walmart, only 1 survived. And then our juniper, which is covered with juniper berries right now. Our juniper's doing great. And we pick things that grow fast and will grow wide, hopefully, to give us the privacy. Now, it might take a few years, but when we go to sell the house, hopefully that will be a nice selling feature, that they have privacy from the road. Also planted a pink or red rhubarb plant, and it's already starting to grow leaves. I planted that just 2 weeks ago, and all the rhubarb I have growing here, it's green. It's not red. I didn't even know that was such a thing. It still tastes the same, but it sure doesn't look as pretty, so I'm happy. I'm hoping to add to that. But this is where I'm thinking about putting the strawberries. Again, we would just burn holes in this claw and plop them down here to help with the weeds. I'm thinking about getting a few and trying that. Though I have to say, I have strawberry seeds. I have to look up and see if I can start them now and get them planted for next year, or if they had to be planted already. I'm not 100% sure, but I'll look that up. And over here, this is what Aiden actually helped me yesterday after he got out of school. He helped me finish this area. This is going to be echinacea and lots of zinnias. And see, there's my rhubarb, and might get another harvest out of that. This area is supposed to be a pumpkin patch. We did pick up a inexpensive electric garden tiller last week. It was way too muddy. We tried using it on the weekend. It was just so muddy. I think it struggled with it. David thinks it's going to work for what we need. Honestly, the price of it was what renting a gas-powered one from Home Depot for 6 hours was going to cost us, and we know we need it longer than 6 hours. We have quite a few areas we want to till up, so fingers crossed it works for us. And then the herb garden, there is quite a few things coming up, and I transplanted quite a few things from the old herb garden. I transferred chives, apple mint, oregano, chocolate mint, lime balm, lemon balm, so things are happening in there. Thanks for coming along while I take you on our tour, kind of a before of everything planted, and I'll bring you back here when we have everything growing. And hopefully we have a very good harvest this year. I have so many things I want to freeze dry. So I'm also going to be visiting a lot of farmer markets, and I hope to bring you along for that. David and I haven't really been at a farmer's market in a long time, and I think we're going to take a weekend and try and go to as many as we can. So I hope to bring you along with me for that. Until then, friends, take care, God bless, and we'll see you all soon.